Hello guys, and welcome back to another AMA session with Biconomy Exchange. Today we'll be joined by one of our newly listed coins, but before we introduce them, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nathaniel and I'll be your host for today. And just a quick reminder guys that you can watch any of the previous episodes on our YouTube channel and subscribe to keep up to date with all the other content that we produce. Our aim with this platform is to provide you with information upon projects, our exchange, and to bring value to your crypto journey with Biconomy. But this does not mean we are providing you with financial advice by any means, so please do your research before investing in any of the projects listed on our platform, and also before you use any of the trading functions our platform provides. So let's get into this guys. Today we're joined by Eli, representing Enegra Group and their native token, EGX. Hello Eli, how are you today?
G'day, mate. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you for hosting us.
No worries about that. To start off with, Eli, would you like to introduce yourself and give us a background of how you came to your position and to the crypto industry?
Sure. My name's Eli Weir. I'm the COO of Enegra Group. I started working in the crypto industry way back in 2011, actually. I was mining Bitcoin, believe it or not. And then I made the dubious decision to sell all my Bitcoin. It was, I remember it well, it was in November 2012, sold all my Bitcoin for under $10 a coin.
Wow.
So that I could go to Nigeria and run a telco. Looking back on it, probably not the best decision, but, I came back to the crypto industry in 2014 after I'd done my stint in Africa and opened up a company called Blockchain Labs Asia in Malaysia. So we applied blockchain to various different sectors. And that's actually how I started working with Enegra. So I knew the CEO of Enegra, Matt Avery, and started talking to him about what we were doing at Blockchain Labs Asia. He was very interested. He was like, how can we apply this to the commodity trading game? So we did a couple of interesting research projects with Enegra. And one of them was actually using NFTs to represent the commodity trade contracts. So no pictures of apes on these NFTs. It was all about, if I've got some coal, and I want to ship 100,000 tons of coal to China, we created an NFT that represented the coal shipment. It went up in value over time until we burnt it, obviously, once the coal was delivered. So I worked on that with Matt. In 2019, I actually joined the Enegra board, and we made the decision to tokenize the equity in Enegra. And really, I've been working with Enegra ever since.
So could you touch on it a little bit there, but could you explain your current position at Enegra and what your role is within the project?
Sure. So I started out as a board member, and earlier this year, I stepped down off the board and took up the role of COO. So in Enegra, traditionally, we had a small number of very large institutional investors, and we made the decision after we tokenized and when we listed on our first exchange at the end of last year that we would open up to retail. And so there are a lot of changes that needed to be made at Enegra in order to make the switch from institutional to retail. And I decided to come on board as COO to help with that switch. So
you're a lot more busier than you was before, is that?
A lot busier.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking when No, I love it. But essentially, I do all of the operational stuff that's not the mining side of the business. So all of the commodity trading, dealing with the miners, dealing with the commodity trades, etc. That's not my specialty. That's the rest of the company. We've got geologists and traders and financiers and logistics guys. My specialty is the tech side, and specifically EGX and the tokenized securities.
So it seems like we've got the best person on for the AMA session today then. But touching upon that, would you be able to present your project and the industry it specializes in?
Sure. So Enegra Group is a commodity trading company. We specialize in hard commodities, and specifically energy-related commodities. So that includes coal and the ingredients for making batteries, like nickel, for example, is a big commodity. So what we do is we specialize in helping mid-tier miners in emerging markets like Indonesia, which is where I am at the moment, compete on the world stage. So a place like Indonesia, lots of resources, lots of coal and nickel and gold and various other things. But a lot of the mining companies here, they don't really have the expertise or the financial capability to sort of compete on the world stage with the big boys. So we enter into an offtake agreement with that miner where we agree to buy all of their resource at a set price. So they just have to worry about digging up the stuff, and we can then take care of the financing, finding a customer, doing the logistics, the risk management, all of that stuff. So
what does this market look like? Like, what is the market valued at?
it's a big market.
Big market.
Big market. I mean, we're talking trillions, right?
Oh, okay.
Trillions, especially right now, because all of the unfortunate things that are happening around the globe are actually really good for our business. So there's an energy crisis on, which means the price of coal has gone up. Everyone is adopting electric vehicles, which means the price of nickel has gone up because that's a big ingredient in the batteries. It's a massive industry. But the problem is that traditionally you couldn't be a participant in the commodity trading game unless you had a lot of money. So what we've done by tokenizing our equity is we've democratized access to that. You don't have to be one of the big financial heavyweights now to take part. You just have to buy some EGX.
That sounds really simple. That is. So what advantages based off your business model, do you give to your clients?
Yeah, good question. I mean, the main advantage is we simplify their lives. We take care of everything else. They just have to dig it up. That's pretty much it, right? That's why on our team is we've got everyone from geologists and project managers to financiers. Like Matt, our CEO, used to work at a bank. So he was on the other side of the table doing trade finance from the bank. Now with Anegra, he arranges the trade finance to finance all of these commodity trades. Really, it's peace of mind. If you're a miner in Indonesia, it may have been a business where it was stop-start. You have a lot of cash or you have no cash. It was feast or famine. But with Anegra, what we do is we agree for the entire life of your mine, for the next 30 years, that we will pay you a set price for all of the stuff that you can dig up.
Okay. And on the other end of the spectrum, what advantages do you provide for your investors?
Uh-huh. EGX is interesting. It's not like most of the other tokens that are listed on Biconomy. It's a security. So we're a regulated company. We've been around since 2011. EGX has got an ISIN, an International Securities Identifier, issued by Bursa Malaysia. And really, it's all about applying that whole blockchain goodness in terms of audit trail and decentralization and speed of transaction and cheap transactions to the business of owning a security. In this case, the security is Anegra shares, right? So it's easy now for anyone to have a shareholding, some equity in Anegra just by buying, one EGX token or a fraction of an EGX token. So they can buy and sell those 24 hours a day on Biconomy. And from a shareholder perspective, it's a lot easier than it would be to try and participate in commodity trading any other way. But not only that, the EGX token has given our token holders a big increase in value. And we can see that increase in value, continuing because this commodities boom is going very well for us. So I think the future, we are the first security token to list on Biconomy, but I definitely don't think we'll be the last.
Hopefully other companies will take inspiration from this. But we spoke about Anegra's infrastructure, and would you be able to talk us through the development plans that you guys have for the crypto industry and for you and for the token itself.
Yeah, 100%. Look, there are some advantages that EGX gives our token holders already that they don't get with other tokens, with cryptocurrencies. Because EGX is a security, we have to be able to reissue it on demand, and we have to be able to recover it if it's lost or stolen. So unlike Ethereum or Bitcoin, for example, if you lose your ledger or your Trezor, which has got all your hard-earned Satoshis on there, they're gone, right? No more sats.
They're long gone.
They're all gone. But with EGX, if you lose access to your MetaMask wallet, or your laptop stops working, or whatever happens, we can reissue those to you. No drama. If someone steals them, if someone defrauds you and says, I'm going to buy these EGX on an OTC trade off the market instead of doing it on Biconomy, we can recover those tokens back to your wallet if we have appropriate evidence that this is the right thing to do. So all sorts of great things there already, but we're building on that. We are going multi-chain. So at the moment, we're on Polygon. We started Ethereum. We moved to Polygon to take advantage of all that layer 2 goodness that it gives in terms of speed and low transaction cost. But we're going to be on 5 chains. So Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Phantom, and Avalanche, which means that wherever your liquidity is, you don't have to sort of move things around across chains. You can just buy EGX on your favorite chain and use your favorite native token or other asset to trade with. So that's one big thing. But the most exciting thing that we're working on right now is staking. Staking is not a new concept, obviously, and from a DeFi perspective, but for a security like EGX, it's pretty new. So we will offer, across those multiple chains, we will offer 2 types of staking. You can either stake your EGX and get back more EGX in return, which is sort of a capital increase play, or you can stake EGX and get back USDT as return. And so it's sort of turning the traditional finance world on its head, because it's almost like a bond, a corporate bond, right? A corporate bond is usually you go to a company, says, here's a piece of paper and I promise to pay you some money at some point in the future, right? A fixed income. So we're doing that as well, but no pieces of paper. We're doing it with EGX. Lock up your EGX for 1 year, 2 years, and we'll pay you a percentage on that. So you get fixed income coming in. So that's exciting. Yeah. And then later this year, we're also opening up borrowing and lending. So because it's a security, it's easy for us to then get people to banks and various other people to say, all right, I'll lend you money against that EGX.
That's really interesting. So that's all within this year. You are aiming to for these developments to become for you to offer these developments. Couldn't get my words out there. You kind of spoke about what Ennegra provides to economies and to the crypto industry, but because you guys are based in Indonesia and Southeast Asia, how is your company contributing to their economic rise?
Yep. Ennegra is a big company in terms of dollar value. So we've got a $15 billion market cap in terms of EGX, but the value of the assets that we have is actually quite a lot more than that. So we're trading at a discount to our book value at the moment. So our book value is about I think it's $33.5 billion. And that is going to increase quite dramatically soon, because our audited accounts from last year are only just coming in. So that might go up by quite a lot. My whole point here is we're quite a big operation, and we're helping quite a few miners here in Indonesia. So our first offtake agreement on coal, so just on coal, we've got 16 miners that we work with. Each of those 16 mines has people working in the mine, obviously. Those people have families. But around that, there's the whole community. So we're a very community-focused organization. We make sure that everything we do in Indonesia, which is where all of our commodities come from, benefits the whole community. right? So it's not just us, it's not just our shareholders, it's not just the miners, it's all the people in the community. So it's monetary, but it's also the fact that we go above and beyond that monetary, and we look at being sustainable, being environmentally friendly, giving back to the community.
That's really interesting. And now we've covered like the infrastructure in terms of development, in terms of the value you guys provide and the token itself. But I'd like to ask a personal question is what are your personal aspirations for Enegra and the EGX token for both the industry you are in and the crypto industry? I'm getting my words fumbled today.
Look, I'm really excited about this for a couple of reasons. Our number one goal always is to give returns to EGX token holders. That's it, right? Because they're the shareholders of our company. They're the owners of our company. So our number one goal is always, how can we make money for our shareholders? That's the big goal. But beyond that, we're trailblazers, you know? We were the first security token to be issued in Asia. We're still the biggest in the world. We're the first to use NFTs as trade contracts. We're the first to issue debt tokens. We'll be the first to do this whole staking of a security. So we're looking at how can we make things better, right? How can we do things better and faster and easier in a more people-oriented way? You know, no one likes giving all their money to banks. Me, you, most people, which is one of the big reasons why everyone loves DeFi, right? And so we're all about applying that same principle to everything we do in Enegra as a business. And for me personally, that's what makes me tick. I'm not a guy that gets up in the morning and gets excited about doing the same thing that I did yesterday. I'm much more of a guy who thinks, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we like did this new thing?
That's really interesting. And to finish off with, we always ask a question. Obviously, because you are a newly listed coin with Biconomy Exchange, we ask you guys, what do you want to provide for the EGX community and for the community of Biconomy Exchange now you guys have listed with us?
What do we wish for the community?
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it's that we all gonna make it ethos. I mean, that honestly, that's what drives us. We're very much in that philosophy. So for the Biconomy community, and particularly for those that buy EGX on Biconomy, you know, we want to see people using Biconomy, using EGX, using DeFi, using this whole paradigm shift to get financially stable and financially independent. You know, we want to see our coming into their life as a positive thing. I mean, that's the big thing here.
That's big fair. That's the something we hope to aim to. Now to finish off with, you guys very kindly offered to reward people who are viewing this who have questions 5 EGX tokens. Now we're not going to say what the reward is. It is already on the community. It is already on the banner. But so what we'll do is we will go to the questions on the live YouTube page. I don't know why I'm getting my words muddled up today. So here. So we have from Latif Rilwan. Token burn or buyback program play an important role in increasing token value. Do you have a token burn or buyback program planned to attract investors?
Yeah, great question. It's a little bit different with Enegra because EGX is a security that represents our shares. If we were going to do a buyback program, it means that we would be buying back shares. We would then, as a company, we're registered in Labuan, which is an offshore jurisdiction. We have to follow their company rules. We can't own more than a certain percentage of our own shares, right? So we would have to burn them. In order to do that, we would have to put it out to all the shareholders, all the token holders, to say, is that something that you want to do? At this point in time, we haven't done that. In the future, it may be something that we decide to do, for sure.
So hopefully, Latif, that answers your question. And right now, we have another one. Exchange, you have your ICO. Is there environmental, social, and governance for the EGX token?
ESG is a big thing in our industry, right? So we're at great pains to make sure that we're leading the way. We have very strong governance. So we have an audit committee, we have a governance committee, we have a board. We separate all these things. So me as the COO, I had to step down off the board to make sure that we separate the governance from a board perspective and the management of the company. We're very strict about that. We're also very strict about the rest of the ESG side of things. So being environmentally positive and sustainable are big things. Now, it's an interesting one for us because we started out having giant amounts of coal, and coal isn't known for being the most environmentally, friendly product on the planet. We know that, and we're making big moves into other commodities like nickel to support the electric vehicles and more renewable energy. However, coal is still the number one power generation method globally. Coal-fired power stations, the new ones, run very clean, much better than the old ones. But the whole point here is, yes, ESG is a massive part of our business. We do everything that we can to make sure that we're both environmentally, sustainably, and have good governance.
Latif again. So I think Latif will be getting two questions. It seems though they're rewarded with two EGX tokens, but seems there are no more questions. So instead, what we'll do is, because what happens a lot is on our Twitter page, a lot of people will ask questions rather than asking it in the live AMA sessions. So if you guys wouldn't mind, we'd like to go through them and then send you guys the best questions, and maybe we could answer it within our Twitter, both our Twitters, if they really want to, so they can know. But that's all we have time for today, guys. And before we leave, I'd like to say thank you, Eli, for taking time out of your day, and thank you to Anegra Group for coming on this AMA session. And hopefully the viewers, we provided the viewers with some valuable information. But that's all we have time for today, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.